Hello, everyone, and welcome to the author series on the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Erika Jon. Erika is an entrepreneur, executive coach, speaker, and author of the best-selling book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck, a guide to forming 5 habits that will transform your life and make you unrecognizable. Erika, good morning, and it's a pleasure to have you on the Success Insight podcast.
Good morning, and I'm so excited to be here.
Fantastic. First off, it is a pleasure, one, to get to interview you because you were introduced to me by one of my favorite PR reps, Jacqueline Mahalit. And so that is like, well, of course I'm going to interview Erika, but also that you are a coach, and this topic of yours is near and dear to my heart because when I don't sit here interviewing my guests on a podcast, I'm also a coach, and I've been doing it for many years. And this topic of getting unstuck, I think in this day and age, is so very important. So again, welcome. And before we kind of dive into the book, and I kind of lied a little bit, I said we're not going to go through your life story, but give us that 50,000 or 30,000 foot view of who is Erika Jon.
Yes, let's see. Where do we start? I
Good
love
places.
I love the start of your podcast, and when I heard it for the first time, I thought, well, wow, I work with leaders. I am a coach. Like everything you said was relevant to me. So bravo to Jacqueline. She is amazing. Um, I work in HR. Human resources has been my career for 20 plus years, and I've worked for different companies like Dr. Pepper and Boeing and Snapple, Dr. Pepper Snapple Group. And the coaching piece really matched perfectly with helping employees, because what I find is that employees who are struggling with work, with performance, behavior, or attendance, there's usually some negative belief, some place that they're stuck. Maybe it's a childhood thing. Maybe it's something that they're experiencing now, but how they see the world. And working in employee relations, I got to really take a deep dive into coaching employees in getting unstuck from whatever is keeping them from not performing or not showing up for work. And then it just evolved into getting my own clientele, and then going from my own personal struggles and challenges to this book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck, a guide to forming 5 habits that will transform your life and make you unrecognizable.
I love it. I love it. When I was going through coach training, there were also many who came from an HR background. And I think as you had shared, it was like a logical leap to take.
Mm.
And how were you able to kind of separate, I'm an HR professional, I have these responsibilities, and sometimes your managers, supervisors, employees don't really want to, do what's, they're supposed to do because the company has their guidelines, their handbook, things like that, or they just. And so, how do you reconcile being the HR professional and then
Yeah.
transitioning to the coach, helping some of these folks get unstuck?
Yeah. It really is a delicate balance because not everyone is open to coaching. And because it's a corporate setting, it's HR, which can be very rule driven, very strenuous, not strenuous, but very tight in what you can do. Um, it was a delicate balance. Sometimes I would ask, can I help you? Can we take this deeper? What's really going on? And sometimes it's just this, a great coach is someone who can just ask some really great questions. So depending on how deep they wanted to go, or I can kind of feel their openness, and then really driving a bit deeper to really unlock what's really causing the issue. Now, there are some people who just were not having it and were not happy with me at the end, and that's okay too.
Mhm.
because ultimately it's their job. I've secured my job. I'm performing. So
Right.
if you don't want the help and you're not coachable,
Mhm.
then the side effect is that you may potentially receive some type of disciplinary action up
Right.
to termination. But
Yeah.
it definitely is a delicate balance, and you really have to be careful. But it's worked out for me so far.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, are you still, and we are going to get to the book. I'm kind of
Sure,
weaving
no
our
problem.
way over there. Are you still performing the HR function, or have you fully embraced the coaching profession and now best-selling author moniker?
I love that. No, I still have what I call my day job,
Okay.
working in human resources.
Okay.
And then I have my coaching clients,
Hmm.
uh, and then working on books. So I have full days.
Yeah, you have no idea how much I empathize with that. It's so you have two side hustles. You've got your day job, and then you've got the book, and then you have the coaching. And when you began coaching, and feel free to give a shout out to where you obtained your coach training from.
Yeah.
When did the book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck, when did it start to maybe grab a hold of you and start to say, there's a lot here. I need to put it in a book or in a journal or to make it useful for beyond just my practice.
Yeah, yeah. I'm coaching clients, and I have clients all over the world, in different capacities, from business owners to doctors to waitresses. It just
Hmm.
depends. Actors. So if I'm coaching them to live their best life
Hmm.
and reach and live up to their potential, that I need to be doing that as well.
Hmm.
And so this I remember someone told me years ago, they said, "You're pregnant with something, not a child, but you're pregnant," even though I do have a son who's amazing. Uh, but she said, "You're pregnant with something." And fast forward to uh last year when I actually finished and published the book, I just thought, wonder if that's what she's talking about. But I every year I would, I know that I have greatness within me. I believe that to the core of my being, yet I wasn't stepping out, and taking action. And every year I would go, "Oh, I still haven't done what I set out to do."
Hmm.
And I just cultivated this mindset that no matter what, this is happening. This is going down. And maybe I will get a little stressed out, take a break, feel extremely challenged or fearful, but I don't care. This is
Hmm.
happening. And because I did not want to get another year where I had not done what I said I was going to do. And it didn't help that my husband was like, "You've been saying it for years. When are
Uh,
you going to do it?" And so I didn't want to give him that opportunity either to say, "Hey, you still haven't done it." So
I
uh,
love it, and it's just just do it. And
let's do it.
when you began this process of writing the book, and by the way, the analogy of birth is also not lost on me. I feel like you and I have this connection, this cosmic connection, because I equated to my first book as birthing a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, but yeah, it take you either have an idea of what you want to create,
Yeah.
or you have a book in you, but you need somebody to help you get it out.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was one of the reasons why I started this podcast to help people
Uh,
interview. Let's talk about your program,
yeah.
which, as a matter of fact, we are going to do that in just a second. But it's great when you can finally kind of see what you've created. It's a wonderful feeling.
It
As
really.
we get into the topic of getting unstuck, you talk a little bit about the this habit loop. Can you share a little bit more about what that means and how can it how do you break free from that loop and that negative pattern?
Man, it's how much time do we have?
Well,
Um, yeah. There, I can oh my goodness, it's such a rich question,
Okay.
with a lot of information that I could share. So this habit loop, I equate it to, like, every year people set New Year's resolutions.
Mm,
I am going to do this, I'm going to change this,
mhm,
and by February, mid-February, the majority of people have fallen off track with
mhm,
that, right? And so that's kind of that habit loop. So whatever it is that you're wanting to do, I think lose weight is the probably the most common.
mhm,
You start out wanting to do it in your mind, you're like, I got this. I'm gonna do this. And then you fall off track.
mhm,
So there's a habit there. There's something there that's keeping you stuck. And I felt like it was very important in this book
mhm,
to, especially since I'm saying it's a guide to forming
mhm,
5 habits that would transform your life. I felt
mhm,
like it was important that we talk about the mechanics of habits and how they're formed, how they can keep you stuck, and
mhm,
then how do we obliterate them so that and not only obliterate them because you can't just get rid of a habit, you
mhm,
really have to replace it with
mhm.
something else, right? And that's critical to know. So going into detail about those things so that you understand here's where you're getting stuck in your habits. Here's how
Mhm.
you break them. Now that we've cleared that up, let's go into these 5 habits.
Okay. Is there a technique or a method you use with your clients to help them realize there is this negative thought pattern, or do they know it exists, or do they say something's going on and I'm just not sure, or it's a little bit of both?
Yeah. So it's really fascinating
Mhm,
that we can have thoughts and beliefs, and really a belief is just a thought
mhm,
that you repeat over and over and over again, and the repetition is what forms the habit, right? So we're
mhm,
back to that habit loop. Um, so becoming aware of the thought of the negative beliefs, because sometimes we don't even realize that we have them. And I call it the first law of learning is
mhm,
recognition, recognizing that I do have this belief.
mhm,
Um, and then how do we interrupt that pattern? And
mhm,
you can come up with many different ways to interrupt the pattern. Go for a jog or jog in place, journal, anything to break the momentum of of that habit that you go to. And then there's repetition,
mhm,
repeatedly responding differently.
mhm.
And
Okay.
then after you respond differently, then give yourself some positive reinforcement. Now, this will make a lot more sense if there was a particular situation that we were talking about. But those are really the 4 steps
Mhm.
to breaking those habits, creating a new and empowering habit that really can transform your life and make you unrecognizable, give you a whole nother identity.
I love it. The topic of visualization, because sometimes, we it's not easy to you've there is this habit, it's a negative habit, and you can visualize yourself out on the beach, either playing beach volleyball or looking pretty good in whatever it is you're wearing. But what are some techniques you share with your clients about visualizing where they want to be? How are they going to manifest this future self? What kind of visualization techniques do you use?
Yeah, we talk about, I give you a plethora of visualization techniques in the book. And it really is getting clear about what it is that you want in your life, getting clear about who you want to be, how you want to show up. And I do go into detail about that in the book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck. And then what I find that makes it super powerful is to combine it with gratitude.
That, by
And
the way, is the next question, because that's one of my two favorite words, is gratitude, but please keep going. But I was like, oh, I want to talk about that.
Yes. So I created a word called
Okay.
gratization. As far as I know, the word did not exist. It's definitely not in Webster's.
You can
Uh,
patent and I'm sure trademark it.
oh, I should do that right now, right?
There you
Gratization is gratitude and visualization combined. And I've been listening to some books and they talk, I'm a jockey for motivational, inspirational material. Um, and so they were talking about how gratitude really is healing to the
go.
body, is healing to your heart, to your mind. And when you combine that with visualizing what you want to do, who you want to be, how you want your life to be, it is a super powerful exercise. And so when you talk about manifesting, that can bring things into your life a lot faster. Now, when we talk about the habits that I talk about in the book, before we get to gratization, there is identifying and obliterating those negative beliefs,
Mhm.
because we can be grateful and visualize, but if we are still operating under those negative beliefs, we never act out of alignment with those beliefs. And so the visualization and the gratification, it, it's not as impactful. So,
Right.
and I think that's why this book is so important, because if
Mhm.
we can get rid of those negative beliefs, if we can identify them first, because like I said, we don't always even know that we have them. But if we can identify those negative beliefs, and then the next chapter we talk about is forgiveness. So if you can think about this
That's the
habit
other
loop,
word, by the
that's
way.
the other one.
That was the
Got
other
lots
word.
to talk about. So let me get through this. So the negative beliefs, if we never act out of alignment with our negative beliefs, and then we stay stuck in this habit loop, and then we're not forgiving, which means that we're holding on to baggage. And I know people think, I'm not going to forgive, but it doesn't bother me. Well, on some level, it does. And on some level, you're carrying this baggage. So you can see the weight of the negative habit loop with the negative belief and all of this baggage from lack of forgiveness.
Mhm.
So once we can get through those things and release them, obliterate, I love that word, obliterate. If
Yeah.
we can obliterate them and let them go, then we're at a position of now creating a new life, visualizing a new way of being, and then adding that gratitude in there, which just puts you in such a better, healthier, healing space. And then we look at creating a new identity. So now that I have this new vision, who am I? In this new vision, how do I want to show up? And even that is a part of visualization, right? Visualizing, who do I want to be? What is my posture? How do I walk into a room? What are the things that I'm saying to myself? And
Mhm.
then we get a plan. And not only do we get a plan, but we execute on the plan. So
Mhm.
that really is the 5 habits. There is a bonus habit, and that is meditation.
Okay. So, and I love this model, and I recognize again as a coach, we have these loops, and they can be self-fulfilling if we don't recognize that I've got to take care of it and find a way, you using your model, but we also have to make it stick. It's not enough for you and I to work together coaching a client. If you want to take action and start doing things to keep growing, you have to find a way to make it stick. And I love the fact it's about that action plan, and it's visualizing, continually what the future is going to be out there for you. So I love that. Thank you for taking us through the model. And again, I mean, I feel like there's this cosmic connection because gratitude, forgiveness, another word a client of mine, not a client, a guest of mine used on an outdoor podcast was contentment, is just knowing when you feel contented and being
Yeah.
able to recognize what that
Yeah.
feels like.
I,
What was, go
Mhm.
ahead.
I was going to say, I heard a spiritual teacher say the best place to be in life is content with
Yeah.
where you are
Yeah.
and excited about what's to come.
Very good. I love it.
Yeah.
great quote. So what was it like as a HR professional, as a coach? I mean, you're used to being up on stage and speaking and motivating folks. What was it like to write, besides it feel like birthing a baby? What was it like to write the book and to start to assemble the pieces in the right order? Was it just you, or is it did you have helpers, a team? Was there a team, Erika Jon?
I wish. Um, I there was a time in my life where, and this was, I don't know, many years ago, maybe 2009
Mhm,
or so. I went through this. I I I call it an identity crisis now,
mhm,
right? But I went through this phase where I had finally checked off what I thought all of the things that I was supposed to do with my life,
mhm,
from go to school, graduate high school, get a degree. It's a plus if you got a master's degree. Check. Then you get married. It just was understood that you were going to get married. You're going to have a child.
mhm,
A child. You're going to buy a house, and you get your six-figure job, right?
mhm,
So I had done all of those things. Check, check, check. And then I was in this place where I just wasn't happy. And I talk about this a little bit in The Secret to Getting Unstuck. I would be sitting in these boardrooms with all of these executives, and sometimes the only female, sometimes the only minority. And I did not have a voice. I was raised, children are meant to be seen and not heard.
mhm,
So I had this realization one day, well, when do I get my voice? And so this book really is a lot about that. So I went through this phase where I ended up walking away from the big time job that I was supposed to get,
mhm,
and just went through this depression. I think the only reason I would get out of bed in the morning was really to take care of my son, to get him to school and maybe go have lunch with him and pick him up. That was like my day. I here I was, I had a bachelor's degree in psychology. I had a master's degree and a coaching certification from JFK University, and I
mhm,
couldn't pay anyone to hire me.
mhm,
And then once I did get a job, like a year later, it was in a call center making 52 cents a call. Now,
mhm,
here I am accustomed to having the keys to the building, having executives and employees, leaders coming to me for advice, to I'm making 52 cents a call, and I have to sign a piece of paper to go to the bathroom. So talk about being stuck.
right.
And it
That's
was
crazy.
it was crazy, and it was awful. It was the worst time of my life. So, what I realized from that is that the identity of who I thought I was had to shatter, crumble, and just have a clean slate to build a foundation of who I really was. So, and what I learned was, without the job, without the income, without the home, because at that point, my husband and my son had moved in with my parents. So without all of these things, I'm still amazing. I'm still brilliant. I'm still a genius. I'm still fabulous.
Mhm,
Right. But before, I think my identity was those things, as opposed to I am those things with or without all of these external things. And to pull myself out of that space, I did a lot of the things that I talk about in this book. And then I've added things that I've learned
mhm.
along the way. So, people say, how long did it take you to write this book? It has taken me many, many years to write this book, to go through those experiences, and then to be able to communicate them in this book in such a way that I hope can help other people as well.
Excellent, excellent. So I am curious,
Yeah.
who are your ideal readers and the consumers of this book? And now we'll talk a little bit later about the journal, but who are your ideal readers?
I chose I always say if I write another book outside of this series that I have here on this, I will make a shorter title because it's so
Mhm,
long. But I just felt like everybody, I don't know anyone who does not get stuck, right?
mhm.
So I feel like it really can be for everyone. But if I were to target an audience, I would say women between the ages of 40 and 60. You got some kind of like where I was. You know that you have potential, that you're meant for great things, that you have an ability to contribute to the world in a major way, whether that world is the people around you or if it's a major platform. I hope that they can find this book and get some freedom from whatever is keeping them stuck, like I was able to do. And
Excellent.
here's the crazy thing. Having gone through that, and it seemed like it lasted forever and it was the worst time of my life, I'm stronger for it. I'm better for it. So now if there's a challenge or anything that comes my way, it's like, what? Bring it. I'm not afraid. I'm
Right.
not afraid. So if there is anyone who's feeling stuck, go into it. Don't be afraid of it. And it's going to bring greatness out of you. It won't beat you. It can't.
Mm. So I'm curious, when your husband or your son are out with you and they run into somebody they know and they introduce you, how do they introduce you?
That is such a good question. First, my son lives in LA, so it's very rare now that we run into people, but it's just my mom.
Not my
As far
mom, the
as
best-selling author, no?
no, no, no. Now sometimes my husband will do that. And I know once recently he was I walked up to him and he was talking to someone. He was like, "Oh, it's my wife." And she works in HR too. And then we talked because the person that he was talking to was like a business owner. And he was like, oh, and she's an author too. She's gonna kill me if I don't tell you that. And I was thinking, "Yeah, not really, but okay."
He's learning, that's good, that's good. What what has been the biggest challenge now that you've had this book out and you're developing the series and being able to get out there and market it and really have it accelerate again some of the choices and visualizations that you're going to do.
Time. Because like I said, I do have a day job
Hmm.
and I have the coaching. And so sometimes I'm not done working till 7:30 at night. And by then I don't want to do anything.
I
uh,
I I hear you.
no, yeah. So that's probably the biggest challenge. And this is really interesting too, because another layer of that is, as I said before, pushing through to get this book out
Mhm.
was like my mission. And I did it, and it's like, yes, now there's a whole nother level. And I guess what I wanna say is anytime you set out to accomplish a goal, there's always that next level, which is why I think everybody needs a coach. Even coaches need a coach, right?
Oh yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always that next level. I heard Oprah has 4 coaches. I think Tony Robbins has 3 coaches. So these people are at the top of their game and they have multiple coaches. And that's because once you accomplish something, there's always that next level. So writing this book, getting it published, I was like, yes, I'm done. Oh crap. No, I'm not. Because now, now you gotta market it, sell it, get it out there.
Mhm.
And I just could not be at a peaceful place within myself being satisfied with just writing it. Because now that it's written, I then what did you write it for? To help
Mhm.
people. So now you got to get it out. And that has proven to be a challenge that I'm up for, right?
Mhm.
So when you say what's the biggest challenge? Well, here's another challenge now: the marketing it, the to finding the time to get the
Mhm.
word out there, and I'm working on it
Excellent. I love
every
it.
day. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the journal because when I was doing my research, I had your show notes. I went out to your website, to Amazon, and as I was, getting the links all sorted out, I realized, oh, I just linked to a journal. What is the purpose of the journal? How is that being used?
I'm so excited. So I think I've given birth to 3 more babies.
All right, that's good for
Uh,
you.
I think my son's gonna be jealous. So I wrote this book that was designed to be really audible,
Mhm,
just for audible consumption to listen to. And it was called, or is called, The Secret to Getting Unstuck: Declarations of Truth. And I wanted people, I'm an audible girl. So even when I read my book, I'm listening to it. And so these affirmations, declarations of truth, they're affirmations that will transform your life and make you unrecognizable. Um, I know the importance of repetition. Again, repetition is the second law of learning.
mhm,
So if we can get these affirmations, and I hate to even call them affirmations because I refer to affirmations as the OGs of motivation, right?
mhm,
Now we want to step into that next level, which is declaring your truth. And so
mhm,
there's something emotional about that. And really, when you're talking about attracting and bringing things into your life, it's really all about your emotions and what you're exuding. And when I declare that thing to be truth, when I call forth that thing that be not as though
mhm,
it were, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So that book is out and it's on Amazon right now. The
mhm,
journal, The Secret to Getting Unstuck Journal, A Guide to Transformation Through Journaling, is designed to go with the meditation that I created. The
mhm,
Secret to Getting Unstuck Meditation, A Guide to Relaxation, Clarity, and Freedom. So my idea is read the book, the original book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck, understand habits, understand how to form those habits, what those beliefs are, just understand the mechanics, the foundation of what I'm talking about in the book. Then get the journal and the meditation because you can read a book, right? And it's all intellectual. And
mhm,
then you put it down. And you know how people say, well, I get it intellectually.
mhm,
But it's not until you practice
mhm,
that you put it in work that you get results, right? And that was for a long time a part of my problem. I had all of this knowledge, but I wasn't practicing it. So then I
mhm,
wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So the book gives you the practical knowledge. The meditation will walk you through every step that I talk about in the original book. And the journal is just a beautiful space to house all of the notes and breakthroughs that the meditation takes you through. And then the declarations of truth, once you create that new identity, then you have the affirmations to support you in that journey of evolving and becoming.
I love it. I love
It's
it.
a lot, right?
It's a lot. Some people, I don't know how many of these events you have attended, but they they show up on your feed, Facebook feed, Instagram feed, maybe even email feed, a couple times a year. It's about the people want to launch these masterminds. We're going to have a 1 day mastermind, 1 hour mastermind, which is the secret code to we're going to try to invest you in our program. Okay. And oftentimes, the book that gets written about the program is also designed to get you into the programs, which is typically a very high ticket program.
Mhm.
What I love about what you've created is you're giving folks everything they need right there. You've got the book, then you've got the journal, then you've got the other
Declarations of truth.
declarations, and so you're giving people everything they need.
Mm.
Perhaps what they really then need is to work with a coach. Could be you, could be me, could be some other professional coach. But because even though we have all this material, these resources, it's hard to do it just by ourselves.
It
We
is.
need we need that help. So that's what I love about it. You're giving people, here's your tools, here's what you need, and now hopefully the add-on is the coaching.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
love it. I love it. Before we head out, we have two. segments in our show. One of them is called the aha moment. And this is typically described as, when did you realize, Erica, that what you get to do, it's like, wow, I get to do this for a living. Yeah, I get to make this impact. When did you first begin to, or late, when was the last time you really had that moment? I'd love if you could share that with us.
Yes, I have a couple of things. My mind is like, which one do I go to first? Many years ago, um, I was a member of Toastmasters,
Oh, yeah.
and you had to do your first speech, your introductory speech,
Yeah.
and I entitled mine, "I am a jockey with superpowers."
Uh,
And I just love that title makes me smile. I just love it. And what I was referencing is, as far as a junkie,
mhm,
I have this insatiable desire to learn, to understand what's going to make me successful, what's going to help me to live my best life, to be just a happy person.
mhm,
And I back in the day, I would go to the library because it was free
mhm,
and get all of these books, tapes, audio programs, and I would leave out with a stack, like, like this, and just listen over and over again, to that material, um, because I just wanted to learn. And then the superpower was being able to parlay those lessons and what I've learned, and then coach other people and help
mhm.
them. And it always seemed like I just read this book or I just listened to this program, got this nugget, and then I'm coaching someone, or even on my job, my day job, my HR job, um, that nugget that I needed to help that person to get unstuck, to go to that next level. Um, I believe that it's a I believe that it's a gift. My ability to connect, to build rapport, to coach people, is a gift that I have turned into a skill
Mhm,
because I work on it every single day. So even when I was in the sixth grade, it was either fifth or sixth grade, I can remember saying, I want to be, I'm going to be a psychiatrist.
mhm,
And you have to watch who you tell your dreams to, because people will try to talk you out of it.
mhm.
And someone said, "Oh, you don't want to do that. You have to go to medical school." And I thought, well, shoot, I don't want to go to college 8 more years. I'll just be a psychologist, because I was determined, right? You're not going to talk me out of my dream.
Right.
I'll be a psychologist. So fast forward, I ended up working in HR and being a life coach, which I think is even better.
There's just, yeah, more of these cosmic connections, Toastmasters, and I remember, I mean, my icebreaker speech, which you kind of alluded to when you joined
Mhm.
Toastmasters, it was called the most beautiful place in the world story. And it's like, how can I be in the most beautiful place in the world and be so utterly miserable? And
Mm,
and that was the spark that put me on this path of going back to school in
mm.
my 40s for coach training, leadership development. And we just never know when those things are happening. And now, you're a coach, I'm a coach. It's wonderful when we get to help people.
It
And
is. I say it's like I've never done crack or drugs, but I feel like it's like taking a hit of a really strong drug. It's just nothing like it. And
yeah,
to see someone have a breakthrough
mhm,
and fast forward a month or 2 months from now and see that their life is completely different, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it.
excellent. Also, before we head out, any final insight that you would like to share with our listeners about your work, the book, this journey you've been on? There's a lot that you've unpacked a lot for us today and really appreciate that. But if there's anything else that in our final moments of this episode that you'd like to share with our listeners, I would be grateful for that.
Yes. I would like here coaching, it's one of those things that I literally could do for free. And because I love it so much, I love making a difference. I love helping people. And what I would like to do is offer your listeners uh, the opportunity, the first 5 listeners that I hear from that refer to your show, I will give them 3 free Get Unstuck coaching sessions and a personally autographed book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck.
So that's 5 listeners, 3 sessions, and a book. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have to limit it to 5 because,
I
like
get
I
it.
said, I have long days.
I I get it. I get it.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
genuinely hope someone out there who is feeling stuck, needing a little help, a little boost, a little guidance, maybe a little push or pull,
mhm.
reach out. Reach out.
I love it.
There's help.
I love it, and we'll provide the contact information in the most likely via your website, and know people can contact you there.
Absolutely.
Thank you for this wonderful gift. Every once in a while, we are gifted with this kind of an offer, but this, I have to say, is probably this is pretty amazing. So I would encourage our listeners, because this topic, coaching, executive coaching, et cetera, is so it's so searchable. I have no doubt that folks are going to take advantage of this fantastic, wonderful offer of yours. Now, before we do head out, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
Yeah, the website, is Erika-Jon.com.
Okay.
And I just created an Instagram. It's very, very, very entry level. If there's some social media people out there who want to take me under their wing, I'm open. I need help. But I just created that again to promote and market the book, and that's Erika Jon _ Get Unstuck.
Fantastic. And any other sites, Facebook, LinkedIn, that you want to send people to?
I do have a Facebook. It's
Okay.
Erika Jon, as well as a LinkedIn. It's Erika Jon is my pen name. My
Right.
LinkedIn is under Erika D. Priest.
Okay. We'll provide all those backlinks in our show notes. So they'll be real easy, as well as a link to pick up a copy of your book.
Yay.
Erica, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Again, I want to thank Jacqueline, and she's been a great source of guests over the years. And I appreciate that she reached out and said, "Hey, you got to meet this woman. She's got a great book, and she's also a coach, and you're gonna love it." So it was wonderful getting to know you, learning more about you and your work,
thank,
and really just want to thank you so much.
thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Excellent. Listen, stay in the line. We're going to do a real quick close, and you and I can have a final chat. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
All right. All right, folks. We have just been chatting with Erika Jon. She's an entrepreneur, executive coach, speaker, and the best-selling author of the book, The Secret to Getting Unstuck, a guide to forming 5 habits that will transform your life and make you unrecognizable. Now, this book is actually a part of a bigger series, and we'll have links to it, visualizations, meditations, the journaling, just wonderful, wonderful declarations of truth. So all these things you need to really get on the path of getting unstuck, and hopefully entice you to want to check out working with a coach, someone like Erica. Uh, and lots of great coaches out there, and just what a wonderful topic. Now, as far as learning more about Erica and her work, we'll provide the backlinks to her website, Erika-Jon.com, as well as to her social sites on Instagram and Facebook. We'll provide also a link to her LinkedIn profile. As for us, you can find this episode on our website, successinsidepodcast.com. We are also on LinkedIn and Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I think we're on Instagram for Success Insight. But of course, all of the podcast platforms. So whatever directory you get your podcast from, just search for us, Success Insight Podcast, and you'll find this episode with Erica. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. And we look forward to having you join us on another episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Take care.